Thanks so much as always for joining me on a messy Thursday. I do want to give you an update on the building. And as always, if you have any questions about the building, feel free to put them in the chat. We are recording this. So this will also be placed on the website as well, the Restore Cresskill website, as well as our website, which is great. Make sure that we have it up there. The next one that's going to occur, just so you can mark it down on the calendar, because of some conflicts, the next one that we have is actually going to be on Thursday, April 28th. So the next one we'll have is Thursday, April 28th. I have a conflict on the 21st and the 14th. We are off, so we'll be back with more updates. Overall, the theme again is going to be real positive. I'm excited to give you back-to-back positive calls about the construction on the building. We continue to move forward, and I'm starting to feel some positive momentum, very cautiously optimistic, but so far so good. So just to go through what we've done so far, the HVAC replacement, I am really pleased to tell you that there are 4 univents that are going to be installed on April 28th. So we've already started to get some of the univents in. Now, these are the smaller univents. There's 4 of them in the building of the 52 that are smaller, and those are fan coil units. So a little bit smaller, but they will be installed, the HVAC equipment. So on April 18th, we are actually starting to replace some of the univents that have been destroyed, which is a huge accomplishment. And DeSessa is moving forward with their work to that point. The 4 boilers, which of course are the major items, the big ticket items, the 4 boilers are scheduled to be delivered on May 1st. So we should have them on site by May 1st, just a couple weeks from now, which would be great. And installation of those boilers then starts immediately. So once they are delivered to the school, we can start installing them right away. We don't have to wait for anything because the boilers are located in our central room. The univents and the horizontal univents are scheduled to be delivered on June 1st. So we're going to continue to get univents in, but there's a couple that were in the science rooms that were horizontal, given the makeup of the room. Those will be delivered on June 1st. And remember, I said last time that the univent, which is that rectangular box in every room, there's an energy recovery unit. That's half of it in essence. And that is the critical part because that conducts fresh air in and out from outside and manages the appropriate fresh air as per the Department of Ed regulations. Those are going to be coming in stages. We're going to have 20 of them delivered before or by July 15th. 10 of them by August 1st, and another 10 on August 15th. So those are the critical pieces. Those are the parts that need to go into the actual univent to conduct the fresh air. That's a state requirement. And so those are going to be delivered staggered as well. But as you saw with the 4 smaller univents that we already have, and we will have on April 18th, it's exciting to know that they can come in ahead of time. So far we have not seen any manufacturing delays, which is great. The other issue that Dawn, myself, the architect, the board that we've been planning on is the summer. We are looking at dehumidifier units because, of course, the work is going to be going through the summer. We're not going to have air conditioning circulating through the building. So we want to make sure that we've accounted for mold. We don't want mold to build up in the summer while we're doing the repairs. So we have dehumidifier units that are going to be coming in. We're working with Epic as well as the architect to have those in each of the rooms just to make sure that we have no mold growth whatsoever. Plan is in place, but that came up from a couple people that asked me questions. Yes, in the summer, of course, if the building is not cooled to a certain temperature, we are worried about mold, and we are addressing that even though the full univents and the air will not be circulating at that time. DeSessa returned last week, started testing the pressure and the piping throughout the entire building. We have an AC unit on the roof as well. In the gymnasium. So we're testing that to make sure that the pipes are in place and everything is set in that regard. We have issued a purchase order to Automatic Logic for the HVAC controls so that order can go through. So of course, the controls, one of the last parts that comes into the building once all the equipment is in. That order, the purchase order has been cut and the HVAC controls are being ordered within the next couple days. The refrigerator compressor, with a lot of people talked about, the refrigerator compressor needs to be relocated. That was located in the boiler room, that sort of pit area, and we have to relocate that. And that has been discussed, and the purchase order for that is going out tomorrow because that compressor needs to be relocated so we can bring the boilers up to ground level and not have them sink in that pit, because of course that was a major issue. So we're going to be raising the level of the boilers to make sure we can avoid, of course, a disaster like this again. In order to do that, we have to create space in that room, and we're going to be relocating the compressor, which attaches to our refrigerator in our cafeteria. The abatement is moving rapidly throughout the building. It is almost complete. It is not friable, but it's necessary to have the abatement done throughout the building, and it is almost completely done. They have about 3 more weeks of work, but they are moving very quickly. The duct work has been completely cleaned. We talked about the duct work in the univents that needed to be cleaned because the water brought contaminants in there. It has been completely cleaned by our company, IRS, and that will again be tested. We can't test it until the floors are completely done because, of course, the floors can kick something up that could register with the ductwork. So as soon as the floors are completed, we will test the ductwork, which gives us plenty of time. If we find anything that we have to fix as well, we will continue to do so. But that is moving forward very quickly. Doors and hardware, the order has been placed. The submittal will be approved very quickly. Remember, we talked about the issues with doors and hardware. We want to make sure we get enough lead time. Again, that is not something that I'm overly concerned about. Many members of the community have come forward and said, look, Mr. Burke, if we can't get the building open because of doors or other things, reach out to us and we'll be able to come up with something to go in the middle of it in order to bridge the gap. But those are still on schedule right now, as per the manufacturer. Painting, drywall, and the soffits. Epic has sent drawings to the contractors for this. This is that last piece, which again can move very quickly. So we've staggered and planned the reconstruction of the building with the most important parts first, obviously with the longest lead time. Painting, drywall, soffits is something that can come very, very quickly, but we have that as well. The other issue is the lockers. And a lot of people have reached out and said, what is the main issue with the lockers? You know, if students need to get back in the building with a backpack, it's not a big deal. That is fair. But the problem is that the bottom of the lockers, we can't have wood there anymore. There was a base of the locker which was made of wood. It's sort of the structural part that the locker fit into. That was completely destroyed. We've ordered new bases to that which are metal, which obviously would be resistant then, and we would not have many issues if we have something that water that comes in the building, which of course we're trying to avoid at all costs. But just as another remediation measure, the bottom frame of the lockers is going to be metal. And we have an entire new base, and the anchor is going to be in there, which will be secure. The plans prepared by Longo Associates, they made a few changes for items such as built-in tables, lab tables, science tables. If you remember when you were in school, the old blacktop tables, those are custom built, those are specifics, but those plans have been in place and those purchase orders are being put forward as well. The flooring, we have the correct floor prep for the installation. We will be preparing the rooms tomorrow. The floor tile has already been shipped for the school district. And then after the floor is removed, what you need to do with the floor, and some of you know this, of course, you have to scarify the ground, which is grounding the top level of the concrete so that the glue that goes underneath will stick. And then we place the tiles on top. So again, we are not waiting until all the rooms and all the tiles have been ripped up. We've gone room by room, and we're backing that up now with scarifying the ground, grounding up the concrete, placing the glue, and putting the new tile in. So those are being worked on concurrently. And again, making really strong progress with that. Cresskill has met with the music teachers for rooms. We've already started looking again at the auditorium and any music concerns as well. We had our sound booth. We had a wire that connects the sound booth to the stage that had to be replaced. The planning and the new work for that has already been approved. The DOE has approved that. That's our last step. And no additional approvals are necessary. So we're moving forward with that. And again, the auditorium and the media center, which are the parts that are going to take the longest, that is still on pace for January. So we are still completely on pace for that in January. And the main part of the building with all the classrooms, not just the section, are on schedule to have the students back here in September, which is great. So again, no major concerns at this point. And we've moved forward with our FEMA advisor, Chris Hartnett, who was just on a call with us as well. One of the other things that Dawn and I just got off a call about is if you look up online, there's something called Tiger Dam, Tiger, Tiger Dams. And those are another option in order to protect the school district in case of water, another remediation option. So we just had a great presentation from them. Now we'll be talking about them at the next board meeting and moving forward with a sample where we'll have somebody come on site and actually demonstrate it as another possible backup. This is used, it was an impressive presentation. And if you go to their website, you can see it's used in multiple countries as flood guards. And these are massively large blow up tiger dams that are filled with water that weigh 1,100 pounds when fully filled with water and can surround an area as well. It's been used on golf courses. It's been used in electrical areas, such, you see one on the turnpike, of course, with the electricity and the power grids and power companies. So that's yet another option that our FEMA advisor brought to us as a remediation option, and we're looking at that as well. But again, I am cautiously optimistic, and we're all hesitant, of course, to buy into positivity, but everything is on track, and there have been no delays over the last couple of weeks. Things are moving forward, the flooring, and it is a big deal. I would celebrate, I certainly would, that on April 18th, we're going to have 4 univents back in this building. So those are our big dates so far. April 18th, the 4 univents go in, and May 1st, the boilers are on site. And as soon as those boilers are on site, the installation starts immediately. So far, so good. If anyone has any questions here about construction, please put them in the chat. And if we can answer them, we certainly will. But please feel free to put those in the chat now. But overall, like I said, the key for us, the way I looked at it, is boilers and univents. 52 univents, 4 boilers. Boilers on site, May 1st. Univents have started to go in April 18th. And those are the critical pieces to get us back in the building. The flooring is coming right now. We're ripping up the flooring and going to be grounding up the concrete and laying the new flooring right behind it. Plenty of time to test the ductwork, which has already been completely cleaned. But of course, we have to test that. We just have to wait for the flooring to finish, because we don't want to test it based on flooring samples that kick things up and then have to go back and test it again. So let's wait until it's done, and then we will go through there as well. But again, overall, very, very positive last couple of weeks, and we hope to continue it. Any questions about construction? Would it be possible at some point to see pictures of the updates? Thank you very much. Yes, and Wi-Fi and technology requirements. The updates, what we're going to do is, if you go on the Restore Cresskill page, I put those 2 videos up. I will get 2 more videos up to show you more pictures of the building. I think it's critical. And those only may be a minute or 2 minutes, but I do think it's important as we make the progress through to give you those pictures. The next one that I put up after break, what I look to put up is the new 4 univents that are installed. I'd also like to get a picture of all the boilers that are going in as well. And then we can go through some of the rooms as those come in. Question here sounds very promising, but most renovations are not on schedule. What if the last minute will not be ready to be open? Do we have a plan B? Yes, we do. And what we're focusing on right now with the administration, and again, the staff administration, I can't say enough great things about them. We are focusing on creating a separate schedule where math staff, where our middle school staff and high school staff are indeed separate and no crossovers. The reason that we're doing that is a backup plan just in case. Because what is critical is to have the middle school staff separate so that we could potentially house them in one location and have the high school in a different location without the worry of so many crossovers. And again, people have asked, why do we have so many crossovers? The reason that we've always had crossovers is because that's who we are. Students have wanted electives, students have started programs, electives, different things. And in order to do those, you need to have the right person in place. And by putting that right person in place, sometimes you're going to have a lot of your staff teaching middle and high school. Back when I was teaching, it was the same thing. We would teach some in the middle school and some in the high school as well. Question here about the possible change to the schedule. We're really struggling, Anna, with that. We looked at different possible schedules to have. In order to do that, we really need to have the separate staff. We've spent hours trying to come up with a different path. We came up with something where 16 teachers would have to switch. So students would have to have different teachers during the last marking period. It was really a huge, huge challenge. So it's really been a lot, but the plan B involves that. Our plan B for September, I will not be returning all of the students to Cho Day, 950 students. I just don't think that that's the right move. So what we're doing is we're scheduling a backup plan for September where the middle school students can be located at one location with all the teachers and no need for crossovers. And the high school students can be located at one location with no need for crossovers. And what that would do is it would allow us to have more space, longer periods in case there's a backup. But again, right now I have no reason to believe that, but Anna, we are moving forward as if we have a backup plan if needed. Question here, Mr. Burke, anonymous letter raising concerns. Just wondering during the investigation has impacted the district's ability to purchase funds. No, and I'm certainly disappointed about that. We talked about that on Monday. But again, an anonymous letter came in and it always gets investigated. And I've been as transparent as I think anyone. And anytime we spend money, we're going to update our website, the spreadsheet that's there. Anytime a bill is signed or a purchase order is signed, it goes on the board agenda. So we're going to continue doing that. It has not slowed us up at all. I've been working with the Cresskill police, who of course, have access to all of our purchase orders, and everything is up there. So they've looked at the website and they said that is great. But yeah, it hasn't slowed us down at all. We've been able to move forward and purchase. And what was really helpful, to be honest, was the declaration about FEMA going to 90%. That was really a huge, huge help to our district. So again, something I wish we had before this started. But again, I think what's happened with our district has brought a lot of things to light. And that's where we're at right now. But I even from the NPR article that was recently put out, we've gotten a lot of calls. I got a call from Education Week as well. And they said, what do you think is necessary to prevent this from happening again? And I said, point blank, I really think that there has to be an emergency way for school districts to have access to money in these situations. There is no reason why the state of New Jersey could not have had us loan us $7 million to buy boilers and univents. That was really the critical issue, because if that had been able to be done, they would be put in already. They would be installed. So, I mean, that's the real key. Question here, approvals needed for the building to pass electric, heat, water, certificate of occupancy. What's borough specific approvals? Really good question. So we're in contact with the building inspector and the fire marshal. One of the small benefits of this issue is that we've had a pretty good relationship and they are aware of every step that we're doing. So as things need to get approved, we will do so immediately. For example, what I mean by that is I'm not going to wait until August 15th to start to get those approvals. Just as we're dealing with the floor, as soon as the floor is ripped up, a new floor is going in right behind it. And we're going to continue to do that. So as soon as we're at a point where we can start getting approvals, a section of the building approved, a section of the building with a fire alarm, we will have them come in. And everybody in the borough has been fantastic. They just said, give us a call. We'll be there as soon as you need us. So that is the key. Getting us back in September means we're not waiting. If something is ready, we move forward. The flooring is ready, we put it in. 4 univents come in, even though they're smaller univents. To me, now we're down to 48 univents. So as soon as something can be put in, the boilers come May 1st. We're not waiting until the univents come in June. Put the boilers in on May 2nd, and then we move forward. That's what we're going to continue to do. And the approvals are important. We're not getting held up with approvals. As soon as something can go forward, we're going to do that. Like I said, I'm full disclosure with everyone in the community. I would not tell you things are positive if they are not. If I told you there was a delay and I thought there was a delay in the boilers or the univents, I would tell you right now. But we had our conferences. We just had another meeting, like I said, Dawn and I, and everything seems to be moving forward. So my excitement after a break, a well-deserved break for all of us here in the community, is to put up on Twitter and have those videos up on the YouTube channel of the items that are going in so you can actually see the progress. That's what I'm focusing on. So the videos will be up certainly before our next meeting on Thursday, but I will have them up the week we return, and we'll be able to have some pictures and details so you can see us moving forward. But the boiler's in, the univents in, the flooring continuing, the asbestos abatement basically finished. Good things are happening for sure. And no reason to believe that September is not completely on our radar right now. And if something happens and there's a slowdown, I will tell you 100%. But I know this community, I know everyone is anxious. And if we have a reason for a delay and I say to you, look, the doors have been delayed, they're not coming, I will let you know. And anyone out there who can help us with doors, I will let you know. Sheetrock, hanging sheetrock, things like that. So, but so far, everything has been good. Epic has been great. They will have another update for us at the next meeting. I believe they're coming to the next one. We will have them there. The architect as well has been working, and so far manufacturers are on target. Plumbing and Dawn, question here, plumbing and electrical plan tentatively for August. The question is, why so late? We will do what we can do with the plumbing and electrical plan up to that point. But of course, there are some things that have to wait. So for example, what I said to Epic is, okay, we've cleaned the ductwork. Why can't we just test it right now to see if it's clean? But the issue becomes you have to wait until certain other parts of the project are done. There's no cause for concern, but any plumbing, electric, any work that we can do now, we will. But what we don't want to do is repeat unnecessary work. So by doing something now, it could potentially have to be redone. That's why we have to wait. But again, the auditorium and the media center are separate. That will not keep us from being in the building. We have put those plans forward. We are working on that. But the focus for me is 52 classrooms. That is my focus, because that gets our students back in this building, and there's no need for anything else. All right. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, email, let us know, and we will move forward. But thank you for joining me on a rainy Thursday. There's been some unfortunate excitement at other schools throughout the county. We did not have any today, thank goodness. So it's, again, still a reminder about safety and security, of course. But you know, I wish everyone a restful and enjoyable break with your family, staff, parents, community members, everyone. And we will be back on the 28th. I will have a new video up that I will send out to you via Twitter and the YouTube channel that week we come back. And then we will have another update on the 28th. So all good news. Let's keep the positive momentum going. But these last two meetings, I'm very encouraged about September for our students. Fingers crossed. Thank you, everyone.